Hey everyone, welcome back. Are you looking for some quick and easy ideas for meals for your up and coming week or over the next few weeks? I'm always looking for some just simple ideas of things that I can throw together. You know, sometimes my creativity juices are running on empty and I'm like, oh, I get so tired of coming up with ideas. We are not people that can eat spaghetti every Monday night and Taco Tuesdays and such Wednesdays and such Thursdays. We don't like the same old. Like I might do a pasta night on Monday night, but have to lasagna one time, maybe spaghetti another time, maybe macaroni and cheese another time. I like to change it up. We get bored with the same things, but the summer is so crazy busy. You know, you're trying to get your garden work done, get the outside work, out while you can get that going, and then you've got chores in the house. Plus you're trying to do some trips here and there and enjoy the summertime. So I'm always looking for ideas of real simple things I can throw together. And this week was one of those weeks where it was like, we're at the tail end. We don't have a lot of fresh produce. Ran out of bread. Little things like that. It sounds, like I just did shopping. It was maybe 2 weeks ago and I got my big, I hadn't been shopping in like 7 weeks. So I picked up a grocery order. But even with that, like the basic stuff, like your bread, your fresh produce, we're running low on it. You can only get so many weeks out of that. And now we're kind of doing the pantry items, which is fine. We will survive and we'll be fine. So I had to get a little creative here with some of those things. And I was trying to stretch it to next week before I run out and get bread and fresh produce to add to the pantry. So here are some of the things that I came up with. So we had some white fish in the freezer, and I've said this before, we need to clean out our freezer. We have a lot of meat. I need to use it up. I refuse to buy any more until I use up what I have. I know meat is very expensive, but bottom line is you can only keep meat in the freezer for so long, and it's just not going to be good anymore. It's going to be frosted and all the rest, so I need to use up what I have. So we had some white fish and I decided, oh, you know what? I'll make some white fish. Why not? So I looked up a recipe and I just didn't have time. I knew I wouldn't have time when I came home to make the fish. So I decided to look for a recipe in the crock pot. So Crocktober is coming up in just a couple of months at this point, and I'll be doing a collab with somebody for Crocktober, and this will be one of the recipes on it. But it was white fish in the crock pot with a cheese sauce, and I ad-libbed and did my own thing, and I added peas to that, and we put it over rice. Now I am not a fish eater, but my husband and my son said it was fantastic. So that was a keeper for the book. So we had that one night, and what I will do at the end of the video, I will just show you pictures of everything that we had. Then another night I was going to make Hamburger Helper, homemade Hamburger Helper, and I even thought, oh, I'll video that because I owe you that video. And when I looked, I did not have any cheese. I was like, oh no, I had no cheese, no shredded cheese. And the block that I had was frozen. The one I did have, it was in the freezer. It was solid. I couldn't even grate it. It was so frozen. I needed dinner quick and easy on the table in like 20 minutes. I had a box of the real Hamburger Helper. And I know some of you are gonna cringe. Listen, I have no problems with keeping that in my pantry. There are just some nights it was great. So I pulled out the boxed Hamburger Helper. We put that in the electric skillet. I made that up in there. I did find a few slices of sliced cheddar, and I thought, let me just doctor that up a little bit. So I laid the sliced cheddar on that and mixed it in for an extra nice cheesy sauce. I had some Texas toast. We had that on the side, and then I had some cucumbers and tomatoes from my garden, so we had fresh vegetables on the side with that. That was delicious. I decided to make real easy. I fried up some eggs. I had some pork roll. I put some cheese on it. We had a side of pork roll and cheese, fried eggs, and then I made some pan scones. I do have a video on that. You can go back and check it out. Quick and easy scones. You make them in the electric skillet or frying pan. No grease, no oil, nothing like that. You just fry them dry. They're delicious. They're great. I made a whole batch. They were gone in 2 days. The whole family loves them. So we did that for another night. And then I make tuna pies, and I did a video on that. We love our tuna pies. I haven't made them in a while, and I'm looking around, and again, these are things from the pantry. A little bit of things in the refrigerator, a little bit of things in the pantry. What do I have? What's something quick and easy in the freezer? And I had some crescent rolls, and they're the kinds you pop open in the can. Those things only last so long. These things need to be used up. So I knew they were coming to a point of time to use them up. I didn't feel like fussing and taking the crescent rolls out and pinching them together and making little pockets. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make it like I do my sausage casserole. Well, from now on, I think this is the only way to do it. I put the crescent rolls in the bottom of the pan, one layer, made my tuna pie mixture. It was so good. It's one of the best recipes that I have that I can make in 10 minutes, and it makes a delicious lunch or dinner. You can even have it for breakfast. So I put that in there. I put the next layer of the crescent rolls in there, baked it in the oven. I think it was like 12 minutes, maybe about that, till it was nice and browned on the top. That was it. So we had, I made the tuna casserole, tuna pies, however you want to call it. I had some corn, I made some jasmine rice, and I put some broccoli on the side. It was fantastic. And then another night, I told you I'm out of bread, and my youngest son loves hot dogs or hamburgers on a roll. He does not like just eating them by themselves. So I was like, oh, get creative. What could I do? I said, ooh, I had one more package of crescent rolls, and I thought I really need to use them up. By next week, they get kind of funky. So I took the hot dogs and I threw them in the air fryer. The package was frozen solid. Cooked them up in the air fryer. Then I took them out. I rolled them up in the crescent roll. Threw them in the oven. While that was in the oven, my rice cooker. I am in love with my rice cooker. Put some coconut jasmine ginger rice in the rice cooker. I cooked that up, and then I had a side of corn, peas, and some baked beans. So we had a feast. It was great. So I have pictures of all that. I'll include that on the end of the video. And listen, go to your pantry. You are going to get to a point where you're just, maybe if you're on a budget and you're trying to spend so much money, the fresh produce only lasts so long. And if you're at the end of the month, or you're just in that little hump where you can't really afford to spend the extra, that's why we have canned goods in the pantry. Use your canned peas, your canned corn, your canned mixed vegetables, your canned carrots, whatever you have. Use your canned meat. Use the things that you have in your pantry. That's why you have a pantry. And I told you, I'm trying not to shop over the summer. I will probably have only shopped from June, July, August, and September. If I can make it until Labor Day weekend, I've only shopped twice in 4 months at the grocery store. What does that mean? Well, it means I got the fresh produce and all that stuff at one shot, and we stretched it as long as we could, and then we went to the pantry and we used canned vegetables, and we are okay. And that's what it's there for. I laugh when people say, well, you shouldn't be eating those canned peas. Well, what do you keep in your pantry? Well, I mean, who else? I don't know, what do you all keep that you don't keep? Canned peas or canned vegetables? It's not just for an emergency. It's there to be eaten when the budget is tight, and getting a can of peas for 50 cents versus a bag of broccoli for $8. You might have to go with the can of peas. But we have plenty of fresh fruits and veggies along the way. That's all great. We even use frozen. I love frozen. Some of these things were frozen that I made. Some of these things were fresh that I made. Some of them were cans from the pantry. But I'm trying to empty out some of what's in my pantry, only because you got to use it up. And I get to it, like I have so much, and I use it, and then I get to the point where I feel like I still have enough to eat and also have an emergency stash if I need it. But when it gets to a certain level, then it's time for me to start replenishing and take this batch and move it over here and then kind of fill this side of it in. So in the fall, we're going to be hitting the discount grocery stores. We're going to be getting some things there. I can't wait to go. We head out to Pennsylvania. I'm from New Jersey. We don't really have good discount grocery stores here. We go out to Pennsylvania where I can get some really good buys. We will then stock up probably mid to late fall. We will stock up for the rest of the fall and into the winter, early spring season. And then in the spring, we go again and we stock up late spring. That gets us through the rest of the spring, all the summer, and into the early fall. So we go about twice a year to the discount grocery stores, stock up on some things there. I'll give you an idea. The last time I went out, I got maple syrup. You know how expensive maple syrup is. I got it for $1.99 for one of those glass jars that they have of maple syrup. $1.99. If you know what maple syrup cost, you know that was dirt cheap. I bought 7 or 8, maybe even more bottles of that, and I stocked up. I'm still good. I still think I have 5 left, and we'll be going probably not for a couple months. I'll probably stock up. If they don't have maple syrup, I'll get something else. We have learned to improvise. We make it work. We're enjoying this. You know what? Just trying to find something quick, easy, and light. I don't want to be fussing in the kitchen. I want to be able to use the food that I have in my pantry and my stockpile. That's what it's there for. The meals were great. They were delicious. They fed the family. Everybody's happy. Nobody's complaining in our house. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you get some ideas. I'll leave pictures at the end. Have a great night.